Oh, hey. You came back. Yeah, I thought you might need a hug tonight, buddy. Yeah, I reckon I might. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 15 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 12-8 to the Texas Rangers. They lose the first game of the three-game weekend set. The Astros are 4-11. This is going to be a very discombobulated assortment of words, so just be very well aware now. It's going to be rambly, and I'm just going to kind of pour it all out there. They are 4-11. It's Game 15. Guys, this is beyond a slow start. I don't enjoy saying it, and I need that to be abundantly clear that I hate saying it. They are a bad baseball team. They're just bad. The pitching is genuinely the worst in the sport. Dead last in the American League in ERA plus, hits allowed, walks allowed. They're bad, like really, really bad, like unusable bad. And you look at the past week for pitching, you've given up, since last Friday, 10 runs, 7 runs, 1 run, a victory, 5 runs, all of them in the first inning from your starting pitcher who couldn't finish the inning, 4 runs, that's, another solid one, 11 runs, 13 runs, 12 runs. JP France pitched a very not good game. You then had Cannell come in, Joel Cannell, who also was not very good. Gave up 4 runs. Belak pitched an inning scoreless. Presley pitched an inning scoreless. Hader pitched an inning scoreless with a pair of strikeouts. Like, here's the thing. They are injured, and I understand that. But some of those guys coming back, listen, I'm hopeful for all of them coming back. I really, truly am. Fromber's been good recently. Verlander won the Cy Young not long ago. Lance, before he went on the injured list, had like a 2.2 something ERA in his season. I think it was 2.25 or 2.21 his last season. 2022 was his last season. Garcia was finally getting it together before he went down. But at the end of the day, we think there's hope on the horizon. I don't think Garcia is actually coming back this year, though. We think there's hope on the horizon. Verlander's 40. Fromber's underlying numbers have always been suspicious. And Lance, despite how much I love him, is a wild card. And I've said it, I'm not going to consider him back until I watch him throw a pitch from the mound. I can't do it to myself with him. I love him dearly. He's one of my favorite Astros of all time. Right? It's him and Altuve. And honestly, it's a 1A, 1B type situation. But I just can't say, oh yeah, he's going to be back in June. I can't anymore. The bullpen is a disaster. And they've called up any prospect. They've been here. And they've given up horrifying amounts of runs. And in some cases, not finished an inning. And this is, at the end of the day, baseball, you can only run from the cost of victory for so long. And they've run from it. You can debate that they were running from the cost of victory when they won the second ring. Like, you can debate in 2022 that they were starting to kind of run from it. With the fact that they had a guy like Pena starting instead of a guy like Correa. That they were already digging into the minors pretty heavily. They had started. The cost will catch you. Last year, they were given an option at the deadline to not run, to stand and accept some of that, or to run a little bit longer, and they chose to run a little bit longer. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have. I'm not saying that trading for Verlander was a mistake, because getting Verlander back was really special. And I love Justin Verlander, and seeing him come back to the Astros was really nice. And I would like him to retire here. I really would. But they made the conscious choice last year at the deadline to continue to run from it. And it drains you. It drains the farm system. They made the big acquisition to get Verlander in 2017. And then in the offseason of 17, going into 18, they made the acquisition to go get Cole. And then they made the acquisition to get Presley halfway through the season. And then in 19, they went out and got Greinke. And then in 20, it's a wash. For everybody, it was a wash. Who made acquisitions at that deadline? The Marlins were like the biggest buyers of that deadline. And then in 21, they went out and made buys. And in 22, they went out and made buys. And in 23, they went out and made more buys. They went out and got Verlander and Bregman again, ironically. And it catches you. And now you're seeing it. They are depleted as all get out in the minors. And I don't enjoy being right, but holy crap was I right. And again, I'm going to sound like I'm some jerk gassing himself up, like throwing his arm out of socket, patting himself on the back. But when I said, offhandedly, and one of my big, bold predictions was, hey, they might have to think about trading Bregman, I didn't think I would be this right. I don't know how you can't. I don't know how you can look at the team right now, the way they are playing, and say, yeah, no, we'll keep working on getting Bregman an extension. You've got to trade him. You've got to get something back for the minors. You've got to get pieces back. Because you are dead in the water. And you can't... I know it's only 15 games. I'm aware of that. You've got to just think about the future. Because I don't think this is it. I think... And I'm not even trying to blame the offense for this game. Or the mental. They scored 8 runs. They made a run at a comeback, man. Like, that's the thing. That almost gives me peace about this game. And the last game, too, honestly. Because yesterday, they only put up 3 runs, but 16 hits. The offense did well. Tonight, they scored 8 runs and had 11 hits. That's going to win you a lot of games. Let's just, for funsies, I'm just going to peek around the sport for this evening and see. All right, Nationals and Athletics are in the 9th. It's 1-1, so you'd win that game. Mariners are beating the Cubs 4-1, win that. Top of the 8th, Cardinals are 7-6 over the Diamondbacks, might win that. Dodgers are 7-4 over the Padres. That's a coin flip. They might score some more. 8-2 to the Twins. All right, that'd be a tie. 5-2 Pirates over Phillies. Win that. 2-1 Tampa. 11-1 Brewers. 12-1, 7-0 Angels over Red Sox. Mets over Royals 6-1. It'd win you a lot. Like a lot of games. You can't get mad at the offense for this. Their starter gave up 8. And their one guy in the pen gave up 4. The mentality was there. And that's the hardest part. This wasn't them. The past couple games haven't been them just mentally not giving a single flying care. The pitching isn't good enough. It just isn't good enough. And I don't like saying any of this. I don't want it to be like this. I wanted the party to keep going. I wanted it to keep going last year, and I wanted it to keep going this year. But the only thing worse than making a mistake, and it's the thing that so few teams in baseball and football, hockey, any sport will accept. The only thing worse than making a mistake is not admitting that you've made a mistake. They were given the choice last year to sell or to run. Or, excuse me. No, I was right. To sell or to run. And they ran. And now baseball, in a not-so-polite way, is going to give them that question again. And if they care about the future, if they want to make this team competitive in the coming seasons, they can't make that same mistake again. They can't refuse to accept that this team isn't good enough. And I'm not saying this team isn't good enough without basis. You know how I know this team isn't good enough? Because I've watched 2 teams that were good enough. And you could debate a third, because how on God's earth did those Nationals win? We've seen the team that's good enough to win. And I didn't feel like this in 17. And I didn't even really feel like this in 22. Because the sky was the limit for that team when they were putting in the effort. And soon, like we talked about, there were times with that team in 22 where they seemed mentally checked out. They still won like 108 games. It was few and far between. And they had a slow start too, not like this. Not a 4-11 start. I think I'm out of things to say for this. Tucker had a really good night. He should be happy. It's just... I did not think we'd be here already. And to any of the Rangers fans that are going to go into the comments and roast us and do things, I asked for simply 2 things. 1, don't complain about the fact that I'm not endlessly praising the Rangers. I am an Astros channel. I am obviously going to talk about the Astros. And secondly, if you want to chirp us, just please make it slightly original. Just a slight bit. Like, you can roast us all you want. That's fine. Just show us some new material. That's all I ask. They play tomorrow at 4:05 Eastern, 3:05 Central. The Astros are going to send Ronel Blanco to the mound, and the Rangers are going to send Andrew Heaney to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that's all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.